Welcome back, everyone. Going to the second half here of Quarter Swords episode 131. Adam, what's going on?
All right. So, some time passes, during which Berg and Maharib get the equivalent of a short rest. You sleep for a couple of hours. You can't really get into like a deep sleep because you know how it is when you're hungover and you're like, I don't want to do anything, but I can't sleep either. So you just kind of lay there in bed, waiting for it to pass. And eventually it does, and you start to feel a little better. And you return to the world of the living. You go out of your quarters and go and meet up with your allies. And Ramus and 10 Pillars have some information, which I assume they impart to you, right? So 10 Pillars and Ramus, you tell Berg and Maharib, like, we have a list. This list is the ritual materials that are required to bring Unnamed back. It's going to require we break down the sword, capture the spirit within, watch it a couple of times, realize it's not as good as you had hoped, return it to the video store, and then impart that soul into into Unnamed's body, where Unnamed will have to fight Bahath in some kind of psycho-spiritual battle for dominance over the body. So you have this list now, and you are told just how much it's going to cost. So I guess this is the part where y'all get to plan how to get this stuff and what you're going to do. So I will turn that over to you. We have the group of you. You're in a room. The list is on the table, and kind of we fade in the midst of the conversation.
What is the exact list?
Well, I think that's maybe what we're discussing.
Has it been discussed? I'm just saying. Like,
yes, yeah. I mean, you don't recognize anything on it, but
well, mainly because I can't read. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I might not be familiar with some of the things though, because they're pretty exotic. So I guess Berg's like looking over the list.
Yeah, weird alchemy
hangover, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to roll for? Is it just con again?
Probably con.
It depends. Are you rolling to see how much you are pushing through your hangover, or you want to roll to see how hungover you still are?
How hungover?
You're still
make a Constitution saving throw, but do it with advantage because you got to have a nap. On save with advantage.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, 22. I think you probably feel better by now. Sure.
16. Probably not.
Okay. Probably not. You're probably still. Everybody's talking a little loud for you, Maharib.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Berg, would you start? You want to start the conversation then?
Yeah, he's just looking at the thing.
I don't even know what that is. Where are we getting these things? Any ideas?
Maharib, what is this building we're in, by the way? It doesn't look like your people made it.
They didn't make this. You've been in this building. This is a old dwarven cave. You know these things. The embers of Imix live here. The dwarven ruins, volcano. You know how the story goes. But I thought. My people did not necessarily build these. We don't have a home. We're nomadic, if you know that word.
Did they clear the whole thing top to bottom?
I don't think so. It's still being cleared. At least the lower depths. From my understanding, I don't know too much about it. Why do you ask?
Digging through the ground, the dwarves would have to like uncover lots of metals and materials and stuff. Maybe there's some part of this place that still has some of that in the uncleared areas.
Perhaps, but are you saying we use the resources of another group for our own?
I'm saying, like, if they haven't cleared out this place, they're just sitting there, not being used by anyone.
Fair enough, but are you a miner, Ramus? I don't think I've ever seen you I don't think I've ever seen you do manual labor, actually, come to think of it.
Well, some of us are better at
do.
planning and thinking and strategizing, and
Sure.
Others
Yeah.
are better with the pick.
I make excuses sometimes too.
So this is a thing that is as true in Court of Swords as it is in like Tolkien, that it is known, big quotation marks here. It is known the dwarves love treasure. And the only thing they love more than treasure is not letting anybody anywhere near it. So if there are unpillaged dwarven halls below you, it serves to reason that if you believe these stories about the dwarves, that there's probably like vaults of treasure down there somewhere. But these are also stories that everybody knows, so it may or may not actually be true. But it is certainly that something that occurs to you if you're like, wait a second, we're in a dwarven fortress that hasn't been totally cleared out yet? Well...
I'm just proposing that we could be sitting on our answer to our problem.
How much does all this cost? Did you mentioned the cost earlier? 10 pillars. What was that?
Well, all told, if I were to go try to acquire all these items, it would be somewhere around 20,000 gold pieces.
It's a lot.
Indeed.
I'm going to Google what can you buy for 20,000 gold pieces.
we could ask if we could try to clear this out, but I don't know if that's necessarily our treasure to claim right to. I'd feel a little bit. I don't know.
Well, what if
I'm conflicted.
she said that she needed them because she didn't have them. But what if we cleared it so that she did have them?
You mean clear the rest of this place out?
For them, and they could keep it or let us have some of it too, or whatever.
Sure. I would just. I'm wary of doing such a task and then coming up short. Dwarves are known for hoarding their treasures, yes, but they're also known for hoarding meaningless objects. Who knows what we find down there, is what I'm saying.
I know. But the other option is to travel past Grave Dirt through the Kingdom of the Court of Swords to the Court of Coins to buy all this stuff, then come all the way back.
Oh, it occurs to both me and I'm sure one of you, you know who has a shit ton of money? The Necromancer King. He has a shit ton of stolen gold, right? Because he's been knocking over temples, melting their holy icons, like basically anywhere there was a Court of Swords stronghold, he just killed everybody and took all their money. So yeah, the war effort has money if you're looking for someone to beg, borrow, or steal from. That's also an option.
You'll just steal from the Necromancer King.
Yeah, you'd be like Robin Hood.
How hard could it be?
Yeah, right?
Very hard. I feel like this is one of those points where it's like, well, these are the things you need to do. They're all going to be very difficult to get. What the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do? Where are you going to get it from?
10 pillars. What's your take on all this? You have the least to gain here and the most to lose, I guess. Is how I'd structure that.
Yes, very true. I'm doing what I can at the moment. Ramus is going to help me get a message to my people in the Court of Coins. Let's just say I'm not expecting a positive return and answer. My thoughts on the matter were Remus, did you tell him about our options?
Thought these were the options right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's only 3 big players that we know we could ask favors of to get these things: the Necromancer King, Gravedirt, or the Court of Coins.
Okay. None of them have any reason to help us, though. You realize that, right?
Well, they have reason to help me, but there are limits.
Sure, your presence here is more than enough. I don't think we can ask you to ask your people to fund this situation. That's unfair. The two of you look
I'm
like
all
you
open
want
to suggestions.
What the two of you look like you want to say something, but you're unsure how to say it. By all means.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I was unsure if Remus had told you that we might be able to procure all these items if we give Gravedirt the list. She might be able to get them very easily. Who knows? But in giving her the list, we give her power. We give her the way that we are arranging to do this furnishing of a soul that's never been done before. And that means also breaking our word to Vani.
What? Vani asked you not to share this?
The sacred ritual. I can only infer that she means she doesn't want it to get out to everyone who wants to know about it.
I see the dilemma now. Our deal with Gravedirt was to let her witness it, right? Not to understand it.
She said if we brought her back, let her look at this new life, that we could go from there. She'd want to know how and what was required, but in essence, we bring her back, show her that we've done it, tell her how we've done it, then we get your person back.
And then there's no. Well, go ahead. I'm.
Forgive me if this seems unkind or it seems harsh, but to get straight to the point, how important is this person to you? Remus has already made his feelings known about the one there. Would you say it's a similar passion to retrieve this body? Because we're just going to inter it or incinerate it or whatever ceremony you have. Is that correct?
For unnamed body? No, we're doing that for Ramus. If that's what
No,
you're asking.
Amira.
It's just kind of a long silence.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what we'd be getting in return.
Your question is how important is she? Is the body? Sorry.
If we were to acquire all the ingredients, perform this ritual, and never speak of it to Gravedirt or anything, and thereby leaving Mira's body in her care, so to speak, how would you feel about that?
It depends when you ask me, I guess. If I have time to think about it, I'm sure my I'm sure I'll be fine with it. But in the moment, I'm fighting my own self from not taking this hammer and putting it through your skull. He kind of like looks at Berg's hammer because it's the closest object his axe is across the room.
Just like, it's the closest thing I could grab and kill you with it.
I hope you understand why.
I do not. I confess, I barely know you at all.
Do you not have family or people you care
No.
about where you come from? Is that lost
Not
upon your
especially.
type?
Not my type. My occupation.
Then I'm sorry for you. That is a terrible life to live.
My family is the court of coins. I do what's best for the masses. That's who I live for. That's who I die for. A nobler cause I could not imagine.
Seems like a coward's life to me, to not care.
You can think what you will.
Fair enough.
I live for many. You live for one. How is that better?
I suppose you're right. It's not better or worse. It just is. That goes both ways.
We haven't made a decision yet. That's why I'm asking you. If this is not an option, then we will find another.
Consider it not an option for now. I'll let you
Very
know
well.
when it is.
And I have my message for you, Ramus Krill. It's difficult to fit it all in how many words you've given me, because I'm basically asking them for a list of things.
Yeah,
that
how many
takes
words?
up a lot of space.
How many words are you able to send, Ramus?
25.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think you can, if you're economical, you could send the list of ingredients as one message, but you wouldn't have room for instructions or justification. You might have to cast it twice, right? Once for a message, once for the list.
Okay. Can you do that? Yeah, that's what I'll tell Ramus Krill. Is that, can you do 2 messages?
I can. I'd have to expend a bit of my power, but I can do both.
Very well. Then I will construct the first message, which will be the reasoning and the request. And the second message will be the ingredients, the items we actually need. Need a bit more time, so if you'd forgive me.
That's fine. Berg, are you feeling better?
I never felt bad. I don't remember feeling bad.
Well, we were a little drunk earlier. Just make sure you're okay. I care
Drunk.
about you.
Is not bad. But yes,
It's not the
I
drunk
am
that's
no
bad, but it's
longer
the after.
drunk. I am okay.
All right. Making sure. What are your thoughts, Berg? What do you think? You've been very quiet.
Well, Amelia was good, but not my place to make a choice hard for Maharib. This must be. I don't know where we will get all of this. Seems like all options are bad.
Yes, growth requires pain sometimes. It's going to be rough to get all of this. We'll have to sacrifice somewhere. No one's going to end up completely happy.
You're saying this to the group?
Yeah.
You say that, and Maharib just goes, Remus, what have you sacrificed in any of this?
My parents, my life, the place I grew up, my faith,
The soul for a while.
my soul,
No.
my ability to feel.
I think there's some confusion. For this particular goal, Remus, what have you sacrificed? Everything that we have done has been in your cause. Has it not? Am I off base there?
I can see that it seems like it's just me that's benefiting, or this is just what I want, but I feel it's for something bigger than me. I want to get Amira back, not because of who she is, but because of who you are to me, and that I care that you care about her.
You want Mila back to to rest, yes?
Yes.
I would like that too. If it can be done, I will help you do that. But as you said, for now, maybe just think. If things get worse, you maybe can't do that. With the body, more than happy to still do everything else. Maybe that will be enough.
Where do we
I
begin
don't
with
know.
any of this? Does it begin with
Well,
10 Pillars contacting his people?
that'll be
Good
our
start.
first step. If we can get even some of it from them, it would lighten our load.
You're a spy, right?
Well, in a word, yes. In many words, it's one of the facets of my occupation.
In my time as a mercenary, I helped people like yourself out of situations, we'll say. I'm sure you have smugglers within your ranks, do you not? Could they acquire the body on their own and get it out? Is that something that's possible?
You're not talking about smugglers, or you're not talking about just smugglers. You're talking about infiltrators, thieves, and then smugglers. They need to get in, acquire the body, and then get it out. Is that correct?
You're the spy. Whatever you say.
Ari, I have many connections. I spread fairly wide across the country, but getting myself here without much help was a chore in and of itself. If you were going to hire someone to do this, it would just be someone from these lands, and you would have to do it the way everyone else does it, and just pay them and hope for the best. I'm sorry, the news is. I wish I could help more.
Not a normal
Yeah,
place to sneak in.
the last time, sorry, Max. The last time 10 Pillars of Gold interacted directly with anyone that was part of your intelligence apparatus was in Mangrai, which is the northern capital. And that was months ago, right? Like they're in like, that's not enemy territory. That's court territory. And you were working out of the embassy there. And that was months ago. You left to come into the jungle. You haven't talked to anybody. You've just been on mission ever since then, right? Tracking down hints and rumors. I mean, they know you're around because you sent them that message before.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, you're a solitary operator down here. Getting you here safely was one thing, but yeah, getting a bunch of other people down, that'd be difficult. I mean, more
I can't
difficult.
imagine too, they're going to want to do that either, you know, especially for like what's.
Yeah, I mean, you are 10 Pillars
back.
is on a pretty important mission. But yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll send the message. We'll start there. We'll figure the rest out after.
Very well. I have the first message. If you're ready, Ramus.
Yeah, I walk out of the room and grab the axe. I just leave.
Okay.
All right. If it's written, I can burn the message and it will send to the other person.
I DM'd it to you. I don't know if you want to read it out loud or however that works. However you want to do that.
Yeah, do you need to actually read the message, right? Ramus?
Yeah.
Like it has to pass
What
through
do you
your
mean,
mind
DM?
first.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just DM it to you and go.
Do you? If you want, I will hand it to you, Ramus, and you can take it from me.
Yeah.
The message says, mission ongoing. Ramusburg Maharib in tow. Powerful new magic discovery possible. Void denizen to be furnished with soul. Items to follow needed for ritual.
Okay.
I put it in my mind and cast the spell to the same person you had me send it to last time.
Okay. All right. So you send your short message somewhere in an intelligence bureau in the court of coins. Someone receives a handler suddenly receives a message in their mind. They I guess you're sending it to the same person, so they recognize Ramus, they recognize your voice. And reply. And they get, let's see, they get 25 words or less as well. Okay. Send all information on new ritual possible. Waiting.
I relay that to you, to 10 Pillars. What does that mean?
Means that they have to run it up the chain. And in order for me to get what I want, 10 people have to approve it first. It's my life. It's bureaucracy.
Smashing. Easy.
Mhm.
Yes, it is, my green friend.
Sure.
One moment. Ritual has chance of failure. Need items to complete
What if you put something in there about ally to fight the threat?
Void Denizen has intimate knowledge of Mara military structure and tactics.
Yeah, 25 words is
Usually I
not
have
a
time
lot,
to
eh?
usually I have time to construct this on my own. So I can take words out and put words in. If items are okay, hold on.
Just watching you be like,
I know I just gotta
Gotta
write
get-
down and like scratch
word
it out.
outta
Like,
here.
fuck.
This reminds me of
Yep,
how
sometimes
grateful I
it's-
am that Twitter has doubled the capacity now.
Doubled it. Yeah, remember that. Some
Yeah.
people don't know. Imagine people who just started using Twitter after they doubled it.
That's
to
true.
140.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god, I wish I had more characters. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Ritual. Yeah. So this is the next message I want to send. Ritual has chance of failure. Need items to complete. Void Denizen has intimate knowledge of Mara military tactics. If items not available, send 20,000 gold. Yes.
Items
Just
not
send it.
available. Please send gold. Okay.
Just can you wire that over? Yeah.
Yeah, if you could just fire that to us, I could really
Fuck,
use
I
it.
don't know, man.
Operations budget. Okay.
I before I send it, I give it to Ramus and I actually let anybody who wants to look at it to see if they have any. If you have any things you want me to take out or put in, that's as many words as I get.
I am not good with words. Not written, least of all.
So is that your message, 10 pillars? Also, Ramus, how many more messages can you send? Because you'll need a third one to send the whole list.
I could send like 6 more. There's just
Okay,
spell
perfect. Yeah,
slots.
because you have it's a third level spell slot. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to
Also-
slowly bleed you of spell slots, and then bam, you get attacked as
Yep.
soon as you finish sending your last message. Ha ha ha!
Oh,
That's what you get
no.
for trying to move the story forward.
Bert grabs a piece of parchment. Also, free slaves.
Yeah. P.S. Free all slaves, which is like good advice. I like
You know
that.
what?
Okay.
I'm going to take the last line out as far as the gold goes.
Okay.
I'm going to say if items cannot be sent, If items cannot be sent, please advise.
Okay.
Yep. So it says the whole message says ritual has chance of failure. Need items to complete. Void Denizen has intimate knowledge of Mara military tactics. If items cannot be sent, please advise.
Right. So Void Denizen in this case is like you're telling them, if you give me this shit, this is what I'm going to use it for, and then I'm going to interrogate this person directly and then send information. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yes, please make us get a scene where Zeke interrogates himself.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
I didn't think about that.
I'd be playing 10 Pillars in that
Yeah,
case, so
right.
I'd have to do an impression of
No,
Zeke interrogating
I think
himself.
I think Zeke would have to interrogate himself.
Listen, in the past, I played 2 characters at the same
That's right.
time.
That's right.
Okay,
It can be done.
So, it was actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
Really
all right,
dummy to
so-
one who could speak a lot.
It's pretty good.
This feels like
So
real
you,
like spy shit right here.
So you send the message, right, Ramus?
Mm-hmm.
It is funny because there is this, it's sort of like, it's interesting that we're playing this high fantasy game, but we're also in this moment. This is just like a spy thriller, right? Like sending encoded telegraphs back to head office. Like, so Ramus, you say the prayer, you burn the thing. There's a long pause, and then the reply is send list immediately.
Well, all right then. And I give you the fucking message with the list on it.
Yep, I send the list with all the ingredients.
Okay. So there is again a pause and then a reply. And this reply comes back and the tone is different, right? Like you're hearing the person speak, but their tone is somewhat different. And they say, communications flagged by Special Projects Division. They're sending a liaison. Sorry, 10 Pillars.
What does that mean to me?
So Special Projects Division is, I mean, it's about as ominous as you imagine. It is a cadre of magical researchers who predominantly work to create magic items, who create new spells, and they, like you, serve the greater good of the Court of Coins. But apparently this list has flagged some, like if you're the CIA, then they're like the NSA, right? Or whatever. They're another branch of the same organization you work for. And something on that list has flagged one of their magical wards. And now they're like, nah, Special Projects Division is going to take over. Thank you. And so that's what you get back, Ramus.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Is that good or bad? What does that mean?
Well, it's not great. I'll say that. Something on the list has alerted another branch of our military or intelligence wing in the Court of Coins. And that means they're sending people to check out the problem, to see if I've been captured, coerced, or someone's pretending to be me, or by some magical means or something. But I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to me.
They're coming here.
Apparently.
That does not sound good.
But
Maybe they'll bring the supplies.
well, I had a thought. During this message sending and all of that.
How cool it was.
Absolutely. Totally cool.
They're freaking cool.
High five.
Far
It was
out,
pretty-
thought while we were
far,
talking.
far
Pretty
You
badass.
are really
out.
handsome. I love it.
One day that's just
No,
gonna be a character I make. It'll be a hippie.
I look forward to it, man.
My thought was this. Since we have to acquire all of these items, and the nearest place to acquire them is either the camp of Grave Dirt or the market of the Court of Coins or something of that nature. Do you think we could convince the Dragon Rider to help us?
With what?
I don't know.
She did not seem like she would.
I don't know, but what faster way to travel than by dragon? Other than teleportation, of course.
But we'd have to have something that she wanted. I don't know what that might be.
Now, is this bureau full of sorcerers and wizards that is coming to us?
Oh, yes, it is.
So, does that mean they could just teleport randomly around us?
Perhaps.
Yeah, glancing at the teleportation spell, a person who is unfamiliar with a location, maybe has seen it on a map or something like that. They've got about a 25% chance to arrive with no trouble, and then less chance from there, right? Mishap. There's a 50-50 chance it'll be a mishap. It would be very dangerous. So probably they would attempt to scry the location first and then teleport in. So you've got some time before Special Projects Division gets here. And plus 10 pillars, you know that now, in that case, if you want time before the whatever Artificer General shows up, prior to Special Projects Division showing up, you have some time because the bureaucracy is working in your favor. Whoever's going to come needs to be picked by committee. That person needs to prepare. They're going to need to requisition gear. That's going to take time. They're going to need to requisition like spell use, and like it's going to take some time. So you probably have a little bit, but eventually a bigger, scarier bureaucrat than you is going to show up and start sticking their nose in things.
I'm just wondering, like, what, like, if it might be a good thing.
Oh yeah,
for them
maybe.
to come down and like take a look and see what we're attempting here. This is brand new magic. To see that I'm not lying, I have someone here from the void. Their corpse is like completely defying the laws of our physics.
This adds another angle, which is if the ritual of ignition ends up in the hands of the Court of Coins and Special Division, you could probably do some cool stuff with it in the name of the Court of Coins, right? So that's another person that might, get hands on this stuff. Now, right now, nobody knows how to put the pieces together. You're getting a list of ingredients that a talented group of wizards could eventually reverse engineer, right? They have to hack it. You need to get a bunch of magical hackers to look at the source code and figure out how to make it go, right? They need to write a compiler for it. But that'll also take time. But it would be a Quoth Boromir, a powerful weapon against the enemy.
Right. I relay that information to Ramus and the group and tell them they're coming. They have to run it up the ladder, make sure they get the right people for the job, but they will eventually make their way here to where we are. Now, if I told them all about what we were doing and they had the information that we have, that would be very powerful for the Court of Coins. Not only that, but they definitely want time with unnamed to see what information she has regarding the Void and the Mara.
It's also the kind of thing that if you do it in service to the Court of Coins, they might reward you with, I don't know, land on which to build a temple. Maybe money for that temple. Tax exempt status.
Free parking.
Well,
Yeah,
this,
they'll definitely validate your parking.
Get out of jail free card.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
well, this interesting proposition. Just worry what the Court of Coins would do with all this knowledge. But out of the 3 people I choose to kill us, to come after us, the Necromancer King, Gravedirt, or the Court of Coins, they have to be the less of the evils.
I agree. Don't trust them either, but don't trust Gravedirt at all. Now, won't we just wait?
Unless anyone has an idea of where you can get these ingredients in a timely fashion. Well,
I do
here's
not.
the other. Here's the crux of the thing. They're coming to find me. They know. Usually, they can find out where I am. If I am not here when they come for me, that would buy you more time before they eventually showed up.
I think since you're on a secret mission, whatever thing would normally be used to track you, whether it's like a piece of jewelry or a magic tattoo or like something embedded in your body, they would have taken it out before they sent you, so that if you got caught on your secret mission, it wouldn't get traced back to them.
Okay.
So I think you're actually free of that right now, in the sense that they can't track you. Yeah.
Okay. So how would I know that they could come to where I am? How would they figure that out?
I mean, it depends on how much you know about magic, right? Because like teleportation, you don't need to have ever seen the place. You could look at it on a map, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind that, what I just said then.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that this is probably the safest option, and an ally to have would be the Court of Coins if we're going to fight Gravedirt and the others, and to possibly have a nice piece of land for our new temple.
There is another piece of, well, business, or what do you want to call it? We give this information to the court. We betray Bonnie again, because they're not going to stop at the ingredients. They're going to want to know how it's done. They're going to want to be there when it's done. I bet you Bonnie won't do it in the presence of my people.
Everything always so hard. Road here, blocked there. Side road here, blocked there.
Here's the thing. They know all of the ingredients we need, save the 3 main things.
Yeah.
So they couldn't get the ritual done now. But they could if they knew the 3 key items that they needed. We want to keep those secret. There's still a way we could do that.
And the one performing the actual ritual will be a goddess herself. Just something
Yeah.
that they won't be able to replicate. At least not for a long time until they figure some way around it. But it would give us time. I think this is our best worst option. They're all bad. This is the least bad, I think, for us.
Right. I agree.
Perhaps the next conversation we need to have is with Vonnie. To let her know
We should be honest with
what's
her.
coming.
I do not want
Well-
to lie to Vonnie as well.
I wanted to check while the 3 of you are having this conversation. Maharib, where do you go? Right? We saw you grab your axe and leave. Where do you end up
I
when we come back to you?
think I end up outside somewhere, like on the mountain, to where I have a good vantage point just to sit there and think.
Yeah. So we cut to you outside, and you're just like sitting on a little like rock outcropping. You can't, if you look around, you don't see the fortress. You know where it is, but you've let it's out of your sight. So all that you can see around you is natural stone, and you have this view. It's a pretty nice view. You climbed up a little higher. There's a nice view of the jungle. You can see the canopy, and you can remember where the monastery is, but you can't see it right now because there's a storm kind of like rolling in over the jungle. Not a big scary one, but there's like big black clouds kind of hanging over the jungle, and you can see it's raining over there, and you can feel the wind kind of blowing this direction, but none of the moisture in the air. Like the storm will burn itself out before it gets here. But yeah, you're out here and you're watching this sort of sheets of rain off in the distance, and you hear a voice. You hear Aout, and he says, "You looking for some company, or did you come out here to be alone?" And you look over and you see that he's standing there. He's wearing a cloak. He's got a cloak around his shoulders, and he has like a walking stick. And he looks like he's just like gone out for a walk. Maybe he's coming home from one. And yeah, he's just noticed that you're up here, and he stops.
Yeah, I would say I'm facing the other way, so I turn around. If you want to join, I won't say no. Feel free.
I was on my way back. I saw you up here looking contemplative. I just wanted to make sure you were all right. Bonnie says that you're working on something with her. I don't understand most of what it is she does, but I trust her. She'll take care of you if she can.
Yeah, it's part of why my friends are here. We're working on doing something. Yes, I guess she structured that properly. We'll be done soon and be out of your hair. We appreciate the Embers for letting us stay here.
Of course. I know you might not think of it this way, but this place is as much your home as anywhere else. I know that your people don't settle down, and certainly we don't expect you to stay. That when your time to move on is here, that you'll go. But while you're here, you are as much part of the flame as any of us.
I appreciate that.
I wanted to talk to you about this project. Lonnie says it has something to do with your family?
No, she was mistaken. It's someone else. It's someone we met in our travels. There was a promise made, and the group is looking to fulfill that.
It's important to stand by your word when you promise things to people. Otherwise, what's the point of saying anything at all?
I agree.
I've found that family isn't the people that raised us necessarily, people that gave birth to us, our blood brothers and sisters. It's the people we choose to have around us. I talk about Vani. I call her sister, but she's not. We have different parents. I didn't know her until I was 20, 21 years old, but she's close to me in the way a sister is. I've chosen her as part of my family. I guess I don't know. And he kind of, you can see him get kind of embarrassed. Like he's like, I feel like I was trying to say something, but like, don't worry about it. And he just kind of falls silent. He like stutters into quiet, just looks out over the jungle.
I kind of I think Maharib is trying to search for the proper words and stumbles on. I'm glad you're able to find family. It seems nice. I'm happy for you. You seem to have made quite a nice family here. He kind of like looks off to the side and is like, that's the stupidest thing you've ever said.
Yeah, like you're both obviously having such a hard time navigating this conversation. So he looks back and he says, sometimes being on the run, facing danger together, that can really cement those bonds. You don't really know someone until you've seen them at their worst, afraid for their life or struggling in a way that I think most people don't experience, though maybe that's not the case anymore. And he looks in the direction of the monastery. Tell me, Maharib, you've been there. You've seen the monastery. You may not have seen the whole blade, but you've witnessed the edge at least once. Tell me, do we need to worry? This conflict, it doesn't include us. Now we've had to drive the dead from the hills just like everyone else, but those are skirmishes. We can't fight in a war. This isn't about us, is it?
I don't know. I know that the Necromancer King doesn't care much for life, and if something is in his way, he will make sure to get rid of it. So they might come here eventually, and you might not be able to fend them off. I'm not going to lie about that.
We've had to face persecution our whole lives for what we believe, for the Fire Lord, for our culture, for people. The Court of Swords is, well, it's always been a mess, and it's only now that most people are realizing. I'm tired of making them run, Maharib. I'm tired of having to hide. Do you believe what Ramus says about his religion, this harmony? Do you think it's possible for there to be peace?
If people want peace, then yes, but I'm not even sure sometimes that's what we're forming, or he's making this religion as an adversary to heaven. You know that, right? To go back to the old ways. If that's an idea of peace, then it's a fool's idea.
I worry. What if he gets what he wants? What if somehow Ramus manages to topple heaven? Then what? Does he intend to take the crown himself? Instead of a plethora of gods, we have one? It doesn't sound like the old ways, Maharib. It sounds like something new.
The hope would be that there are others at his side guiding him. But I would assume that was how this all began in the first place.
You know what I like about the Fire Lord? About any primordial, really? You just don't care about us. If I live or if I die, the flame still burns. Imix doesn't care if we pray to him for things. We do him homage because it's what our father did and what his mother did, and it goes back to well before heaven was even a thing. But Imix doesn't care. He doesn't need our worship. There's something satisfying about that. I don't know. The idea of gods being as pathetic as we are, as grasping and desperate, it's disappointing, don't you think?
From a perspective, yes. I think others find their own interest in what heaven has to offer. The idea that there are powers that are guiding them one way or the other, or someone they can pray to for luck. It's all a matter of perspective.
Maybe you're right. I want you to know, if you and your friends decide to go looking for dwarven treasure, and I'm not saying you've decided to, you're allowed, I suppose is what I'm saying. You have my permission to go into the forbidden levels if that's what you decide. I hope that you won't. There's a reason that we haven't been down there yet, but I'll break the seal that bars the door for you, or I'll have Vani do it, and if you need to, you can go that way. If it comes to it. I know that this ritual is going to be expensive.
We'll find our own means. That is yours. That is the Embers. I'll make sure that we don't go that route, unless it's the last route we have to take. It belongs to you and the tribe.
Desperation makes a strange storyteller. I think all we can do now is wait and see. I hope you don't have to go down into those cursed halls for your treasure, but if you do, good luck. And whether you believe that it's safe or not, remember, we've seen you fight a dragon. There's strength there. And he looks at you like, you know, like this is a serious moment. He says there's strength there. And I don't mean the ability to best your enemies in combat. And there's something else. I think someday, when you've found that family, you'll make a good leader, Maharib.
Maybe you're right. It'd be much easier to not have to make decisions, though. I'll be honest.
Well, now you're sounding like a priest. Take up the frock. Pick an arcana. They'll tell you what to do for the rest of your life. But you don't really want that.
I think I like...
Being a leader is a burden, though.
Yeah, I think when he says that, I stand up and grab the axe and just mutter something like, I have enough priest in my life already.
Yeah, so he sees you grab your axe and he says, I'll walk you back. And the two of you head in to back into the fortress.
All right.
So, yeah, for Berg... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
This is something that I try not to like ask about or whatever, but mechanically,
yeah,
10 pillars of gold is much smarter than Zeke is, I'd imagine.
Sure. Yeah.
Is there a way that I could like do like an intelligence check or something like that to see if this character would have a better idea than I'm coming up with
Of what?
of how to like get this, like the ingredients for this ritual or whatever.
Unfortunately, inspiration is already taken up by several mechanics in the game, and so you have no access to it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like these things, I'm leaving them intentionally kind of like intentionally vague so as to see what you come up with. I have no particular answer in mind. I could certainly help you. We could collaborate if you wanted to make a roll. I think a roll in this case would be religion or arcana. Either one is fine. But I'm not going to just give you the answer. I'm not going to just be like, this would do it, right? But you can make a roll to see what 10 pillars might think of, or you could sit down with like Ramus and you could brainstorm it. You could also research if you had access to research materials. You have a bunch of ways to angle in on it.
You want to brainstorm with
but
Berg?
yeah, I mean, Berg. If you have the funny thing is that for help, it doesn't matter. Like you could have one intelligence and you could just be like magic, and then you're like, wow, that's so helpful. Thank you, Berg.
Yeah.
It still would apply. So it doesn't matter. 10 pillars can get help from anybody. But yeah, you could make a roll and I could answer some questions or like help kind of guide you, because I think that's fair, right? 10 pillars does have information or might be able to think about things in a way that Zeke wouldn't. And that goes for every character, right? Like obviously, like Max has the inverse problem where Max is much smarter than Berg, and so has to do the like. So in the same way, like I'm happy to help move you in the right direction if you want to make a roll.
Yeah. Well, but the other problem, like playing a character who is not as intelligent is just like blocking off roads that you would normally like try. Whereas like playing someone who's smarter who's like roads you don't have to begin with. You don't even know that they're there.
Right. It's like trying to play a role-playing game where you're like, and I'm Dr. Manhattan. And it's like, well,
yep.
Shit. How are we supposed to like, so yeah, like it is tough because it's about knowing things, and it's about like trying to put things together. And so,
so I guess I would love to make a religion check to see if I can't go to the court of coins and I can't go to grave dirt to get these things. I guess my question would be, if I rolled the religion check, would be where could I get these items most readily to my position, like right now?
Okay. Yeah.
So
is that
24? Yeah.
Okay. So I think the thing is that the materials are rare, which is what makes them expensive. It also means they're hard to collect, which is part of what makes them expensive because other people collect them. You're relying on not just one source, but a bunch of different sources, right? So you're like magical powder from this guy who makes magical powder, and sap harvested from a tree that grows in this part of the world, and like that kind of stuff. So a big market is the best place. The only place like that is Magrai, and Magrai it's mostly like a black market now, but as you've experienced personally before, in war zones, sometimes it becomes easier to get things that might be harder to get in like legitimate places. So if you could get back to Magrai, that'd be the easiest. You could just be like, what up? I got money, black market, make it happen.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise,
I have a different idea. So I want to get to Ramus again and ask him, can you send one more message, Ramus?
Another one?
One last message.
Ramus, can I borrow your phone? Ramus, my phone's dead. Ramus.
Okay. I'll have to tap into greater power, but I can do it.
All right. This would be the message. Tell me if you find what flaws you might find in it. But they're on their way. It's going to take them a while to select the crew that's coming out, but My message is going to be, we await your arrival. Bring the ingredients. Let them know we're not scared. We're telling the truth. When they get here, they can help us. Maybe. I've racked my brain. There's only 3 ways we're going to get it. These things that we need. Grave dirt, quarter coins, or we get lucky and find them around here somewhere, which is probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that city you said, Adam?
McGry.
The nearest city to get them in would be McGry. And it took me months to get here from there.
Yeah, time is not on our side. Sounds fine to me. It's just, you have a little room for anything else if you want to add anything.
I think that's to the point. We await your 10 pillars and company await your arrival. Bring the ingredients. Witness a miracle.
Very well. I send the message.
Okay. So you send that message, and the receipt that you get is mission has been transferred to Special Projects Division for the time being. Await liaison. Further orders to come.
All right. Now we wait.
Okay.
Thank you, Ramus
Okay,
Krill,
so-
for your part in this. I appreciate all the help you've offered.
It's nothing.
So I think sometime later, once you guys kind of like break and everybody's back in the temple, Berg, Vani comes to talk to you. Where are you and what are you doing? Are you like walking around in the halls? Are you in your room? Like where does she find you when she goes looking for you?
Yeah, he might have been walking in the halls to his room, if not already in his room.
Okay. All
Once
right.
it was
So what are you
decided that we're gonna
doing?
just wait.
Yeah, she comes to your room, and like knocks on the door. So you hear a knock. You're in your room. I don't know what you're doing. For some reason, I imagine you're doing push-ups, but that's maybe reductive of me.
That's not all. He's in contemplative thought.
So
I don't know if Berg's
reason
ever done a
Berg-
push-up
no.
in his life. I don't think he would.
no,
need
the
to.
reason, here's the thing. The reason Berg is so ripped is because he sets out to do 10 push-ups, but he can only count to 8 and has to keep starting over.
Probably true.
It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
Anybody want a peanut?
So, yeah. So you hear whatever you're doing. You hear a knock on the door. You hear dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yes. I mean,
So same thing, that there's that hiss as the dwarven door thing as she just pulls it and it just slides open. This big heavy door. Just shunk. She looks at it as she's opening and she sees you and she grins and she says, one time I closed the door to my room and I couldn't get it open again. I was stuck in there for almost 2 full days. They're convenience until they're not. Can I come in?
yes.
She steps into the room. The door slides shut behind her. She pulls it closed. And she looks around. What does Berg's room look like? Have you like thrown your shit all over the place, or is it like kept neatly? Did you make the bed? Like what is your room? I guess you
It's
haven't
not
slept in
like
your bed
it's-
because you slept in Ramus's bed.
Yeah, his bed looks fairly neat, but everything else is like, it's not a complete mess, but it's not orderly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
slightly messy, I guess,
Yes.
if you want to give it.
Yeah,
just
she's
a
like,
little bit
kind of
of
looks around. She doesn't
disheveledness.
say anything. Yeah, she looks around and she's like, shrugs. No, still cleaner than my room. Can I sit? And she gestures to the bed, which you obviously haven't slept in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she sits down and she says, so I wanted to talk to you about something, Berg. It's not about the ritual or the bodies or any of that stuff. Mahari mentioned that sometime while you were in that monastery and while you came here, you were attacked by a spirit. Is that no? It's
Yes. That happened.
and while this spirit was embodied in you, you couldn't control yourself. Is that right? You were just forced to watch.
Yes.
I don't bring this up because I want to upset you or remind you of something painful. I thought maybe you'd like to talk to somebody about it. Do you know what I do, Berg?
No, not really, priest.
That's okay.
Something magical.
I'm a shaman or a medium, I guess. It's my job to take care of the spiritual well-being of my people. I make sure that malevolent creatures like the one that attacked you can't get in. I make sure that sick people are healed, that people with questions get answers, and I don't do it alone. I do it by special magic that allows the Fire Lord in one of his myriad aspects to take over my body and speak through me and sometimes act. And I watch. And I don't get to control what happens. And Imix doesn't always ask permission for things. I just wanted you to know that there's no reason to feel ashamed. What happened to you was, I can only imagine. And she like, I don't know, are you standing? Are you sitting? Are you pacing around the room? What's Berg doing right now?
You can see Berg's fists, like the hammer is next to him, leaning on the bed, and his fists are together. They were both before on his lap as he was just kind of like sitting thinking, and now they're both together. And she can notice that they're gripping a little tighter as he's thinking about it. He's visibly upset just thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's very obvious he's running through the experience in his mind.
Yeah, so she doesn't like touch you or get close to you or anything. She notices and she doesn't say anything and she says, whatever you're feeling, angry, upset, betrayed, that's fair. That's okay. I do it on purpose. I let the Fire Lord take my body over and serve this community in ways that I don't always agree with, and it's still hard for me. And I do that on purpose.
It's just I have a lot of times before where I was not in control. But this different. And it makes me angry every time I think about it. And I don't want it to happen again.
That's good.
Berg is strength. Control strength. I don't know.
She's Yeah, and she's nodding and like watching you, and she stands up and she takes a step towards you and she says, You are strong, Berg. Anyone can see that. And not just here. And now she does like put her hand on your arm, like meaning like not just like you can kill shit. The ability to destroy is a kind of strength. Fire burns with that strength too. I touch that power every day, but it's not the only power that there is. You're strong here too. And she like taps your chest pointedly, like, you know, meaning like on the inside.
When she does that, he kind of does like a begrudging, like,
yeah. And she says, but sometimes that kind of strength is hard to see, hard to feel. It's easy when we can lift a whole table full of diners over our head or eat noodles until everyone else is sick or passed out. But in my experience, the ability to bear suffering, the ability to watch all of the terrible things that we can't control happen in the world and come out the other side still ourselves, still alive. That's a kind of strength too, Berg. Strength I think you have.
I do that. I have to. If I don't, people die.
I know that feeling.
So, I will do it again. And again. And probably again.
If you'd like, I might be able to teach you something. They're not tricks exactly, but ways to hone your mind, to protect it, to make this, and she like taps your chest again, as strong as this, and like taps your arm, right? I want to, she says, she's like trying to find the words. And this is the thing with Vani, like common is not her first language. She says, there are ways. I've had to learn them. It's a part of allowing the spirits in. I have to know when to push them out and be able to do so. Otherwise, there'd be no Vani, only the Fire Lord, and I would have burned out a long time ago. But if you want to, I can try to teach you some of these ways.
I would like this. I do not want that to happen again. And if it does, I want to be able to fight. I can stand losing. I cannot stand not even fighting.
It's a dangerous thing, being a weapon sometimes. You never want that strength to be turned against the people you care about. And I know that you must be afraid that this time none of your friends got hurt, but what about next time? What if the next spirit that tries to get in here and like, again, the tap on the sternum, what if it tries to hurt someone you care about?
That's all I was thinking of.
Let's do what we can to protect you. Because it's not just about them, Berg. I know you care about your friends. I know how much they matter to you. But you matter too. You know that, right? Just as much as anyone else. And it's okay if you want to protect yourself for your own sake, not for theirs. We build a fortress starting with a single brick. So we'll start easy. Let me show you something. And she sits down on the floor and gestures like, sit, come sit with me.
Yeah.
And you sit down like cross-legged across from her, and she shows you. She's like, okay, put your hands, rest your hands, palm up on your knees, and then just breathe and just like be quiet and just listen. And she basically she shows you like a meditation trick. Basically, she's just like, here's how we calm our mind. Here's how we begin. And she explains it as like, if we're going to build a castle, first we need to flatten the land. That's what this does. And so she sits down and tries to teach you how to like calm the noise. And it's interesting because some of the techniques she's teaching you remind you, I guess the last time anyone tried to teach you anything was in heaven, right? When you and Emperor Faye learned how to do that. So yeah, it's kind of reminding you a little bit of that. And so you sit down with her and she tries to kind of impart this lesson to you. Let's see how well it sticks. And you make a It's either a wisdom save or an intelligence save. I feel like it's wisdom. We're trying to train your wisdom. So why don't you make a DC 10 wisdom save? Let's see if Berg can just clear his mind of thoughts.
DC 10 wisdom save?
Yeah.
All right. Nope.
Ooh, okay.
Moving on.
So you tell me, and Vani doesn't, this is very much the opposite of the like angry kung fu master with the stick, where she's like, concentrate. She's like super chill about it, and she sees you struggling, and she probably like lets you off the hook. She's like, it's okay, like you just stop. Like we don't have to do it all at once today. But what is it? So Berg, when you're sitting in this room and you're breathing, and she's telling you like, just like let the imagine a flame, and as the flame burns, imagine your thoughts are like moths. And as each one comes into the light of the flame, it bursts and disappears. It blows away like dust. And as you're trying to do that, as you're trying to meditate, you're trying to like center yourself. What is the intrusive thought that fucks you up? What is the thing that makes it so Berg can't do this?
Yeah. So he pictures exactly that. It's like a peaceful, serene night. There's a fire that's crackling very, very pretty, and these moths are flying in. They're doing it gracefully. And then one of the moths comes through and starts to glow, and instead of bursting, it gets bigger and bigger, and the face morphs into the old creepy man. And he's just laughing in Berg's face like, I'll do it again too.
Yeah. And so what is the external? We hear that voice. We see what Berg sees. You kind of snap out of trying to meditate. What is Berg's reaction to those thoughts? Does he like get angry and start standing up? Is it just in the face? Like what do we see that lets Vani know that you're having a hard time with this?
Yeah, his hands instead of like are up like that, and they immediately go flip over, and his palm or his clenched fist hit the floor. Like rattling the table and whatever furniture in there, but he like shakes out of it. He's like,
so Vani says like, it's okay. It is hard. We spend our whole lives trying to learn how to think correctly, and I'm trying to teach you how not to think at all. I understand it's difficult. We don't have to do it all today. You know what? And she stands up and she puts out a hand to like help you stand. She's like, come on. Get up. She helps you up, and she's like, let's just go for a walk. Let's get some tea. And she goes to the door and opens it and gestures like, come on, let's go. Like, relax, forget about it. We're not working anymore. Do you go with her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he does.
So you and Vani take a little walk around. And I think as we see this, Berg, can you do me a favor? I need you to make one more saving throw.
Okay.
Let me just check and make sure I know which one it is here. So I think it's a wisdom save. Let me see here. Yes, wisdom saving throw, please. Oh, hot damn. 19. All right. So let's see. minus. Okay, all right. So it's a great roll. And normally, and this is what's so funny, is that Berg doesn't know that either he made the save and that he failed the save because the person who made you make the save is sort of cheating. So here's what we see. We see you walking down the hall with Vani. You don't even notice, but because we're the camera, as you continue to walk, the camera pauses and we see a vague kind of shimmering object, this sort of shapeless form shimmering in space behind you. Now, if you looked, if Berg turned around, Berg wouldn't see it, but through movie magic, we're able to see it, right? And so we see this thing, and as we pull back, we crossfade to what looks like a wizard's laboratory, right? We can see, but it's a Court of Coins wizard's laboratory. So we see a big table with a bunch of books and candles. We see a wall with scrolls and a big banner with like the Court of Coins like sigil on it. And standing in front of the table with a big bowl sitting on the table of clear water, we see that image. We see you and Vani walking down the hall, and staring down into the bowl, we see a blue-robed man with dark hair and lots of rings scrying on you in this pool. But what's interesting, and this is the weird thing, is that as it's not even this, it's not that you're being scryed on thing. He leans back and he turns and looks. And sitting next to the bowl, there is what looks at first like just like a lump of meat. It's a hard, dark red chunk of meat, and it's sitting on a little pedestal in a glass like bulb, like you would keep like taxidermy in or something, a glass bulb. It's clear that it's a heart. It's a preserved heart, and it's on this little thing. And the person turns and looks at it and nods, and then goes back to spying on you. And we fade out on that as this person watches Berg and Vani walk down the hallway together. And that's our episode.
What the shit?
All right. Well.
Oh man, I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
That's what we'll talk about in the post show. Well, that'll do it for Court of Swords. The next show will be the live show on December 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern. The crew is going to be flying out here next Friday, and we're going to be doing a show from the studio. So if you want to watch that, it'll be here and should be on everyone else's channel as well, like normal at 1 p.m. Eastern. So look forward to that. Zeke, why don't you start us off with some shout outs and we'll get out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Man, I can't wait to see what comes up in the live show. I'm so excited to get to roll some actual dice, hang out with my buddies. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great time. I'm excited. But in the meantime, if you want to catch me doing stuff, you can follow me @/Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Tomorrow I will be doing drop frames as normal. And then after drop frames, I will be starting my run of Devil May Cry 5 an hour after drop frames gets over. So if you want to check that out, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Thursday, I'm going to be doing a sponsor stream for Darksiders. Let me make sure I get it right. Darksiders Genesis.
Awesome.
To start the broadcast. That's at noon Pacific. And then after the sponsor portion of the broadcast, we'll be getting back to Devil May Cry. So that's what's coming up the next couple of days for me. Thank you to Max, Dan, Adam, and JP, as always, for making this highlight of my week every week and for rousing me from my day off slumber and getting my ass like actually doing stuff and answering messages and whatnot. So, yeah.
Enjoy it. Max, do some shout outs for us.
I am very happy you chose to use that name, Adam, as the Q&A.
Thank you. I saw you post it in chat, and I was like, "It's perfect. You got it."
Remix to Ignition. You got it. It works. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, I can say it now because we're at the end of the show. But hey, camera issues weren't happening, so I didn't want to jinx anything, so I didn't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah, dude.
But so let's hope that maintains because it definitely. I feel like it also came through. I wasn't as distracted and grumpy. It's been really fucking with my RP because it's just, I like to be in the moment rather than thinking about issues. But anyways, you guys want to find me on the internet. I am GassyMexican on everything, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I think there's an underscore on Instagram, but who cares about Instagram? You guys probably don't. Thanks
Whoa.
to JP, Dan, Zeke, and Adam for being my fellow castmates and Dungeon Master. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm going to be streaming some GTFO. It's kind of like a horror, sneaky stealth shooter game after this. A little bit of early access for that and checking out some stuff with it with some of the late shift dudes. So if you're interested in that, check it out after this. We'll go live shortly after the show. But thanks for watching.
Cool. Mr. Dan's Gaming, some shout outs, please.
Another fun show. I love secret mission and like planning episodes. And this is what this was. Lots and lots of planning and RPing, which is always super fun to do. I'm Dan's Gaming on Twitch. I'm currently playing through Stardew Valley. And Thursday, I'll be checking out the new Darksiders Genesis, see if it's any good. It's an action RPG game that is set in Darksiders world. I don't know if it'll be any good. I'll check that out on Thursday as well. And I cannot wait for the live show because the live show is going to be rolling dice and hanging out with people. And that's my favorite thing. I can't wait for that next week.
Cool. Have fun in Vegas, sir. Don't get too crazy. And if someone offers you an 8-dime or a dime ball,
Dime ball.
Yeah, 8-dime.
or a 6 in the corner pocket, don't accept it. Just turn away and walk away.
Yep.
Hey man, you ever done wingdings before? It's gonna get you messed right up. Come on into the bathroom. I'll sell you an 8-ball of wingdings.
Yeah, that'll happen. And Adam, don't jump in any volcanoes while you're in Hawaii. I know you're attracted.
I won't. I will stay
And also-
away from volcanoes.
Do some shout outs for us.
I would love to. Special shout out to the entirety of Special Projects Division. Thank you for coming today and spying on the players. So I was saying at the beginning that this is very much like we were leading into. This is one of those episodes that's leading into the live show. And as Max pointed out, I've kind of just set the players adrift. I've been like, here you go. So I'm really excited to see what you guys do with time pressure on, a bunch of money at stake, and no clear way out. It's my favorite stuff. So thank you everybody for coming and for watching. I hope you will tune in for our live show. I'm super excited about it. Between now and then, normally you'd be able to catch me on Twitter at Skinnyghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble, but I will not be probably in either of those places very much for the next week or so. But if you follow me on YouTube, I'm doing Vlogmas. There's a new video every day. And I think we're finishing up the playthrough of Control over there. So if you miss me and you're sad, that's where you can find me. Otherwise, I will be back probably for a stream the day before the live show. And then off I go, day before. So, there you go.
Cool. Let's do some XP. Then I'll do shout outs.
Yeah,
at the end,
let's do
I
it.
forgot.
All right. So, basically anybody who has a goal around reviving Unnamed, do literally anything, and that is working towards it. So, Ramus, find a way to revive Unnamed and bring Unnamed back to life. Both of those you are working on. I think you've resolved. You found a way to revive Unnamed. I think you haven't done it yet, but you found a way. So let's resolve that goal. So that one, let me get a difficulty. You are level 15, right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. And
Wonder if I'll
that's
get partial.
medium goal plus your level times 50 is 750, right?
Yep.
I think. Yeah. Okay. So 750 plus. Okay. So also, did you, and I guess again, I'll ask, 10 pillars. Did you feel like Ramus worked on turning you into an ally? Yes, no, or yes, and he's done. I'm an ally now.
Yes, I will say yes. I won't say he's done yet. We still have there's got to be something that solidifies, that proves.
Yeah, you got to spin
Yeah,
in
sure.
each other's hands and shake on it. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to offer me a dime ball.
If only
in-
there was, if only there was some way you could consummate this relationship.
That's true.
Okay, all right. So that means
Tune in to the live
7,000.
show for a live act.
Yeah, we forgot to tell you, the live show is going to be a very special episode of Court of Swords. So, Ramus, you get 7,100 experience, and I need a new goal from you to replace the Find a Way. So think
All right.
on that one. You don't need to know
I'll
it
think
right
of
now.
that
Okay. Okay, Berg. So I have your goals as find a soul for unnamed, learn more about your belt, and find a way to resist future possession. Find a soul for unnamed, I think is done. You have a candidate now. You have the sword, right? So same there. Let me make notes here. So that's and you're level 15 as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that and you worked on finding a way to resist possession. So you get 6,350. 6,350.
6,350.
And I will need
Is that what you said?
Yeah. 6,350. And I'm gonna need another goal from you to replace. Same way as Ramus has. So we'll need another goal.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean now you have like I've given you kind of a quest. And actually I'm gonna like we did before, I'm gonna have like a quest instead of a goal. The quest is gather the material for the ritual and have it performed, right? Obviously, that's like the team quest. So when that gets done, remind me and everybody will get experience for that.
Cool.
Maharib, I think same thing. You have found a way to revive unnamed.
Uh-huh.
Right? So you'll get XP for that. Do you think you worked on finding peace with what happened to Amira today?
I think worked. Yeah, slightly. There wasn't anything that was like
I mean,
apparent. I
yeah,
don't think, but yeah.
Yeah, I wonder about that. So, like, what?
I mean, actually, Tim
There was some
Pillars
talk-
did. Tim Pillars did bring it up. So
Yeah, there was like a fair bit of talk about it. I think it's reasonable.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And then you completed a medium goal. So that's another 6,350 for you as well.
Cool.
Not bad. And then same thing. I'll need a new goal from you for next time. And then 10 pillars. I think you worked on two of yours. You worked on returning to grave dirt with a newly sold unnamed, and you worked on earning the trust of the embers. Right, that was a thing because you talked to everybody at the party, and you're trying to. Your first step is getting an idea of what their deal is. So let's put those together. Okay, so it's 1,500 for working on those two. And then let me know if you want to change your goals at all for next time. Like, well, there's a bunch of new information, right? So something to do with Special Projects Division or whatever.
Yeah. Did you get my three goals were help furnish unnamed with a soul, return to grave dirt with that soul or with the soul unnamed, and earn the trust of the embers.
Yes. Yeah. Help furnish unnamed with the soul and return to grave dirt with the newly sold unnamed. Yeah, they're different enough that first one, I think you worked on that as well. So that's another.
Okay.
So 2250 total for you.
Okay, cool. Then I will come up with more goals regarding the Special Projects Division. Is that what the name is?
Yes, yeah, Special Projects Division. It has a fancier
SPD.
title. Yeah, it has a fancier title that probably involves like a flower or something. I'll let you know what that is too if you want like a more honorific title for them. I'll think a little bit between, and feel free to ask me any questions you want because I know that as soon as I introduce them, you're going to be like, "What's the etiquette of dealing with one of these?" If you think of any questions or things that you think 10 Pillars would want to know or would know about Special Projects Division, let me know and I'll think on it to make sure I have an answer for you. But I think that's it. I think we're good.
Cool. All right. That's it.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for watching. Like we said at the start of the shoutouts, we will see you guys next time on December the 14th, which is a Saturday. There will be no show next week. Adam's going to be in Hawaii somewhere.
True.
Dan's going to be doing cocaine in Vegas. Who knows?
Yep.
You never know. Zeke will still be shoveling snow. And Max, what are you going to be doing? I don't have any. What are we doing?
Playing games, mainly.
Okay. All right, Max is going to be playing games mainly.
Not doing cocaine.
Not doing the hard drugs. Max is
Seems like a smart
out
move.
there. Yeah. So that's that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a doubleheader of Drop Frames. 2 episodes, first at 1 p.m. and then at 6 p.m. So if you want to watch 6 hours of the show, we got a lot tomorrow. And I guess we'll be discussing Death Stranding. So if you've been looking forward to that, that'll probably take up a lot of time. It'll be a doozy. So, yeah. That's it. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching. We will see you guys next time on Saturday, the 14th. We're out.